broadcast live.
Alright, cool. You know who it is.
Yo, open up, man. What's the deal?
What's
You
up,
good?
bro? You good?
Go.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
What's up, bro? You good?
Hey, watch your step, man.
Hey, what's your step, man?
We in the building. Let's go.
In it. Let's go.
They're recording audio for this.
No. Yeah,
Oh, this
yes.
is just walkie-talkies.
Yeah, we can talk. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I got the new Far Cry, man. It's going to be a vibe. You know
Did it just come out?
Yes, sir.
That's my game.
Oh, yeah? You're a big gamer.
I don't like soccer games. I like games
Yeah, you
where
don't
we kill
like me as
motherfuckers. I don't like
He's the
sports
guy.
games. I like
Yeah, shooting people and stabbing them.
Yeah, because generally I'm calm in my life, so I must
you
take
need
it
to
out
play
somewhere.
something like-
Yeah. Them soccer games are boring for me. Fuck that shit. Cool. Thanks, gents, for coming through.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
We're going to try to play a little bit of distance with Costa. Thanks for coming through. You know, I know that you are not in the best of conditions and it's possibly contagious. But
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting like this.
yeah.
Watch those. Ha, ha,
Yeah. Ha, ha.
ha, ha. Watch them H's. Hi, hello, all of that stuff.
All right, so I just want to start like, why this? The two of you guys. How does this start? Where does this start?
Well, it starts with us making a whole lot of records together. What year was it? Towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
We started making records together. Obviously, Nkalagata Remix was kind of the jump-off point. I did that with Costa, and then came over to the crib, and then I, obviously working with Dubs, Nelsino, with his whole, kind of clique and crew. And before you knew it, we had like six records. We thought to ourselves, this could be something, And we kept working at it, and then we thought, hey man, that it'll be a really, really cool idea. I thought it would be a cool idea because hip hop and this is a young man's sport. I'm not saying I'm old, but I like to look for different inspirations. I like to look for different cues of just different mental states, different levels, and I thought this would be something really cool for the culture, really cool for me to experience, and I'm fantastically happy by the way it's turned out and what we've managed to do.
I mean, Costa, I remember having a chat with you a long time ago, and you were talking about like when you knew AKA knows you for the first time, right?
Yeah.
It was at a YFM gig, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was like, Costa, and you're like,
I'll never forget that day
That's funny.
because Ricky called me out to come perform in Kalagata there. It was before we did the remix. And then we were just standing outside in the parking lot, and then I just heard Titch in the background, and I'm like, that voice sounds very familiar. And then I turned around and it was you. You were calling me to your section there.
Yeah. Well, I'm a nice guy like that. I mean, that's kind of full circle-ish because, if you think about it, he also kind of put, like, once upon a time I was sitting in his car, So
Yeah.
it's like, that's what hip-hop is about.
Yeah.
It's about constantly, I wouldn't say passing it on or whatever the case may be, but just continuing, like, bringing up new people and working with new people and bringing new people into the spotlight. And that's what I've always been about, and I'm really happy that that's the kind of spirit that we've embraced.
So now you're working with Keenan, right? And now you're calling him Keenan, right? First name basis. I mean, obviously, like, you did the remix also, because even when you did the remix, it was still like, yo, he actually did the remix, right? Now you got a whole project, right? Where's your mind at? Do you think that like he's really committing to this, or he's just like?
Oh, definitely, bro. Like,
no, I'm just saying, while it was happening, were you like, yo, are we really gonna drop it the way,
Yeah, like I mean, we would talk so many times, and while in the process of making like the project, and as like the project got deeper and deeper into the final steps, like I kept saying like, yo, it doesn't feel real yet. It doesn't feel real. Like, this is actually happening, and before we knew it, it was like time to release. We actually like had that final camp because we knew like, yo, we gotta submit like pretty soon. And that's when everything just started to like simmer in and like sink in that this is actually like really happening, you know?
We got a joke internally. Here we go. Well, it's my joke. Let me not put it on anyone else, you know. I'm like, I could just see Titch like calling like, AKA like, we gotta shoot this. We got an niggas like, yo, bro, like, bro, you know what I mean?
It kind of is like that in many ways.
I can see it. I can see it. Like, ah, shit, another promo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it definitely is like that. But I think that we have a great chemistry. For me to make an album, this is the second joint album that I've made. And, you know, once you make an album, I make an album with you, a project with you, a tape, whatever you want to call it. You know, it really is a meeting of chemistry, and it happens for a reason. There's a reason why this happened, and I'm very happy because, you know, I've had a very difficult year. And coming out of that, I also didn't want to have people hear me all sad and all depressed and all like introspective. There will be a time for that, you know, when my album comes out. But I'm very thankful that this allowed me to also come out and be smiling again and have energy and just kind of get back on it and have a positive energy about it. And I think really Costa and his team really, I'll forever be grateful for that.
Sure.
You know what? I mean, you just talked about how we know each other, from where we know each other. When I listened to the album, and this was not how I wanted to start this, but I'm gonna go that now. But this is you've got a line where you say, I cannot lie, life only makes sense when I'm in album mode, you know? And as you were going through the many things you were going through this year, one of the things that you would post most often was you being in studio, you know? And it just showed me that, like, you know, when we create music, yes, you can become famous, you can have all these amazing things, but you know, there's this thing that like gives you like this place, you know, to kind of find peace, you know? And I just, when I saw you guys doing this, I thought exactly that. I never wanted to hear an album. You probably need to get over a couple of things, but I was like, thank God for Costa, because I think that like Costa literally could have given you that space, you know, to be yourself, non-judgmental.
And also in terms of the sonics of the project, we said to ourselves, we want to make a non-musical project, right? Sure. So like we you know, also the style of the beats, we are living in the Amapiano era, right? So we thought, how can we make Amapiano without making Amapiano, right? So let's strip everything down, let's strip the music. So sometimes we'd be making music, producing, and then we'd get into this deep chords, piano chords, say Zedok, play the, say, no, we need to stop being so musical. We want to make, we wanted to make like TikTok songs.
Well,
we wanted to make, because also like the music is obviously, it comes from a place of feeling of good vibes, but also structurally we said to ourselves, we don't want to make long songs either. We don't want 5-minute songs, 4-minute songs, even 3.5-minute songs. Because, you know, 2.5 minutes is the new 3.5 minutes in music, you know?
Pretty much.
So that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah, straight to the point, you know, nothing that's too dragged out. Just a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, good beats, like dope beats, catchy hook, nice raps. Go for it. You know, something you can just, you know, drop the top. And also it's coming, we're coming into summertime now. So I also wanted music that I could perform, like really new stuff that would have a jig and have a vibe. And obviously with him, he's got, you know, a very young following, the kids, the new wave, as he likes to call it.
Sure.
New wave, ne? New wave.
The new wave.
Okay, new wave. So, you know, new wave and just that whole feeling behind it. Also, the kids just want to rage, man. The kids want to have fun. And I thought, man, this is a perfect opportunity for me to have fun and let loose and just rap and have fun and just do my thing.
Costa, I was thinking about the intro and then I just started picturing the intro, right?
Sure.
Like, so that beat starts, right? You're not even on the stage, right? It's like a big stadium. And you're like, don't shoot me for butchering your rhymes. You're like, I ain't got the summers, but I got the summers. Who the fuck do you think stacking up the numbers? Who the fuck do you think you just shows it, and then the crowd goes, and then you just get in.
Is this the Netflix special? That you,
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
pitch?
yeah, yeah.
Is this a pitch now?
Yeah, this is. I mean, that choosing that as an opening. I mean, and it sounds like it's such a. And I've been seeing a lot of pictures of you guys also performing, right? It sounds like it's the intro song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it?
It is the intro song.
No, I mean performance-wise.
Oh, performance-wise,
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it for a few of my shows. I think I need to start doing it again now because now people know the lyrics.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you test out the records before they drop and whatnot, and we're getting some good energy from it. But now I really want to get on stage and see now, like with the fans.
Yeah, there was a record Monati C, which is on the project, which we
Yo.
had finished maybe nearly a year ago.
It was
a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we wanted to drop that, and then we just somehow it didn't happen, whatever the case may be. But I'm really happy with how we also managed to roll it out. One thing that needs to be said is his team and my team are the same team. I mean, Spuda has worked with me for years, worked with him. So there was synergy there. Tiamo, Spuda, Nivo, everybody together. And one thing about him, he's got a group of people around him who really want to see him succeed and really care about him and want the best for him. And same with me on my side. But just the coming together of the two different kind of places.
Just makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah.
I just want to find out though, what the hell? I never heard you I'm gonna be cocky right now. I never heard you like that before. When you wrote that, what was in your head when you're like, okay, this is my verse here, and this is what I'm gonna open? What was in your head?
Well, I mean, I think it started when we found out we weren't nominated for the Summers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a trigger. Okay.
Yeah. And then obviously, no disrespect to anyone that was, but all of them were signed. In the categories that we had submitted for. And then I was just like, okay, I see how this thing works. Yeah, well, and then I was literally, as soon as I heard that beat and I heard that drop, I'm like, okay, first line needs to be something, it needs to be hectic.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the first line that came to me. I was like, yo, I ain't got the Summers, but I got the summer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because man, if we really look at it in the independent space, we're really moving.
Yeah.
We really, really are
I
moving.
think just in the independent space, or
Just in the space,
moving.
we're moving. But then to top it, we're independent.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's turn this thing that, the fans would see as like, he's never nominated or what. Rather turn that into a positive,
Yeah. I mean, I was just like, yo, that button that they pressed there.
I also did spend a lot of time telling him, like, yo, well, not something I had to tell him, but something that I could tell that he wanted it to come out. It takes one to know one. It takes one cocky person to know one cocky person, So it was just bubbling under, and I just felt he just needed that push to be like, all right, okay, it's time for me to be an asshole now. on my raps.
Yeah.
And in life a little bit as well.
We're gonna get into that though, I mean, when I was listening to the joint, basically, I did think that, like, look, there's also that chemistry where Keenan is known as the asshole, right? And it's almost
really?
like. Not AKA, and like it was like no, Costa, you kick that asshole shit off first, I'll come, and then when you come in your verse, you kind of come in like, yeah, I teach him right, you know what I mean? But when you guys were choosing beats, I'm really interested on like who was the most dominant on beats, sound, how did that go?
I don't know.
I don't even know, yeah.
I think it was, well, hey, I'm going to say that for me, I think it was pretty even. Costa is no pushover.
Yeah.
Costa knows what he wants, knows how to get there. Same with me. And I think we got there pretty easily. It was pretty natural. Like, the songs just started stacking up. Boop, 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 boop. Before you knew it, we looked, we said we had 4.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. Hey, we've got 6. Hey, okay, cool.
The session, like after the first few sessions with one another, it kind of like we already knew
where we wanted to go, because we had that blueprint of the beats need to sound like this. We want jumpy beats, but also we can't have too many of the same beats. So like with Sugar, we wanted, okay, there's a story behind that track, but we wanted to balance it, but all of them in the same vein had to be simple, to the point. And so when it came to beats as well, he's also badass with like getting beats from the internet. I've never really been about that life. But there are one or two which, he like just found. Like, where the fuck did you find this shit?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And that's really what I also want to touch on, is just what you both learned from each other, You've got like a seasoned vet, gold, platinum record selling, stages, deals, everything, you know what I mean? Seasoned vet of the game, top of the food chain. Then you've got yourself, who I say from top of the food chain from what you've been doing on the content side of things, because I also feel that to a certain extent when it comes to the music, your break was really through your mind with the content, What were you guys pulling from each other, like learning? Like, because like both of you guys, it's almost like the superstar is learning from the independent superstar, and there's that synergy. What was the lessons, if there's anything that each one of you pulled out from it?
Oh, I don't even know where to start. But yeah,
just a few.
Honestly, like, from my side, from the actual making of the music, I learned a lot. Like I always say, I don't think I'll ever make music the same again. And that in a good way. Yeah. In a really, really good way, because the attention to detail that I learned, the importance of every single line, especially with the kids and the new wave like type of hip hop right now. It's like there's a lot of nothingness in the lyrics, if that makes sense. But there is, not to say that people aren't saying like real, that real, but there was like a lot of, the attention to detail mainly. Yeah. Taking the music serious, because before anything else, that music has to be what it is. Before we even sit down and roll out, before we sit down and think of a music video or whatnot, like we have to start with the music. And the level of seriousness towards that I picked up in the sessions was like, okay, we can't just brush over that melody that we heard in the background. We gotta pay attention to it, And basically that.
Okay.
For me, sure. I think I learned to not be so stuck in my ways. Don't be too. I think this is more me learning from myself. Obviously, AK would say something like that. Of course. I think I learned a lot about myself in that, I'm willing to try new things, to be open to not go too deep into your own mind. I learned from him that the vibe, because he's a dancer, right? So he has that mind of that, you need to be on stage and be able to perform this stuff. You need to be able to translate that vibe into people. Sure. So I really learned that the vibe is very, very important when it comes to trying to move this music and get people to move to it, especially in the era that we're in. I learned so much about social media. I learned about TikTok. I learned about music. I learned about music videos. Yeah. I learned a lot about how to put music videos together. I learned a lot about content. Jeez, man, I learned so many things. I learned a lot about aesthetics and having the picture in your mind of how things should look, so that it could guide it into how it should sound, how it should look. So I learned a lot of things from Costa, and I think a lot of it has to do with him being a dancer and how him as a dancer approaches making music, and how him as a person who does film and content approaches music.
Now, okay, I think we need to have a serious intervention here, For me, like, you've got to have Zulu daughter, but Costa's carrying all the Zulu in the album. You gotta explain yourself. Yeah. Nah, man. For me, when I put like Zulu words, vernacular words, even Afrikaans or whatever I put in it's in the moment, man. If the moment calls for it, or the rhyme fits and it works, then I put it in. Hey, man, I've done it for 15 years, so I think I've
put in my shift.
No, it's fair. It's fair. I just, you know, it's just that like if,
No, it'll always be there.
if you closed your eyes and you never knew, right, what was happening, and you
You
never
think
knew
I
what
was the white guy?
Yeah, you know. So I'm like, but at Costa, like you're almost doing whole verses, you know, in vernacular. You know,
I love how he does it. Like,
I love
it
the
sounds
effort. The
effortless.
effort. Yeah.
But it also, the effort is there, but it also sounds effortless.
Yeah.
Which is the most important part.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing is when it's done by a non-black person or this person who isn't Zulu, whatever the case may be, and it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing.
I mean, and I'm gonna ask you this, Costa. When I want to rap, automatically I want to rap in English. You know, and it's because probably I was listening to English rap, and I literally have to, if I want to get into vernacular, it's not something from my group that came naturally, like say a Flabber or a Boza. You know, vernacular doesn't. It's not a natural setting. I literally have to think like.
To put it in,
to put in vernacular. Then I gotta say, am I saying it right? And if I say it too many times, I end up like butchering a Zulu word also. Straight, you know? For you, when you're getting in there, do you see the words? How do you see the words? Because you have to see your mind has to see the words in a certain way, you know?
I mean, it really just comes from the vibe in studio, bro. It really comes from the vibe. Some records come from me like sitting alone in studio by myself. That's where I find these beats a lot of the time. Where I find these beats online is when I'm literally alone in studio and I'm like, I'm not gonna produce right now. I really just wanna like, you know, get in, and then I get these beats, and then, you know, that's what will come out. So it really, really depends on what kind of environment we're in, you know. You know, a lot of the time, sometimes if I'm with my friends, say Nelsino will come in and he'll be like, yo, and now we're just vibing, and obviously, you know, sometimes you're just mumbling.
Yeah, the voice,
The
the
you
voice
just go
also
with the
come up.
vibe.
Yeah, also the way that music is written. I mean, hip hop is written. I'm not gonna even say today. I think it's always been like this. We write in groups of people. I don't think like obviously there are people who do, and a lot of the time you do. But for this project, most of the time it was written like 4 or 5 people around, and you piece things together and you say, yo, that's amazing. That's how it kind of comes together.
Sure.
All right. So basically, it's always just about the vibe.
Definitely.
This whole project is about vibes.
I think that's how it is with like music in general, bro.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying generally, not even only on this album, even in your other albums, you know. I mean, I think that like even like you said, when you're writing with people, you're in a vibe. You're not thinking what you're saying, you know. You know what you're saying. It's just that space. But when you're alone, that's when how the words pop up is your default setting.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm just saying, when you're alone, what pops up? Like
Well, I mean, I'm weird, bro. Like sometimes when we traveling long distance, I'll be like writing on my notes just like lines that are popping up, and then when I get into studio, those are the lines that I go to sometimes, you know. Or I could be chilling, literally I could be lying in bed at like 1 a.m. but I think of something crazy, like a spark of creativity. I get up immediately, get into studio, and then and rock, you know. So that's why I say it really depends on the moment. But obviously, like my general default setting is obviously in English. Yeah. You know. Okay. But I mean, yeah.
Like many of us, you know what I mean? It's just, but that's what I'm just saying. I'm not even saying the effort of I'm just saying the effort of like getting out of default setting, you know.
Sure.
I would love to just rap in English sometimes, you know what I mean? When I'm rapping. What is BDS? You say you were getting the back. What is BDS?
Oh, behind the scenes.
BTS.
Oh, BTS.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You thought it was some Pornhub, something.
Yeah. What is it? You know, is this another song where you kind of once again, you know, being triggered by that energy? You know, I told my truth. Now they're trying to put shit against me. Now, in your defense, I was with you like at least maybe like 2 weeks ago. Now we're talking about Costa Titch and Smirnoff. I was with you like 2 weeks like at a Smirnoff shoot, and you were talking about and I heard, and I don't know if I was part of the conversation or I heard you saying you were just agitated by this conversation of hip hop is dead by blogs. It was just it had nothing,
I remember
it had nothing to do with
I remember
anything.
The conversation.
It was just a conversation that you guys were having, right? But it seems like when you articulated it, it's as if like people kind of assume that you could have just jumped into like Casper's comments, obviously, because it's
Mm-hmm.
because of possibly now you're collaborating. But like I say, in your defense, I know that you've literally been articulating this hip hop is dead thing. Like that's whack, and you're just saying that like
Yeah.
blogs that are talking about it, like you're not for that.
I mean, obviously, people are like, the fans, they'll always draw the two dots together.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, now that Costa's working with Keenan, of course.
Yeah.
But no, man, it was actually just generally what I thought. I said what I thought.
But
You know what I mean? And
sorry.
just to like add to that thing, with regards to the hip hop is dead thing, I don't enjoy the fact that the word dead is in the same sentence.
Yeah.
You understand? Because
Yeah.
the more we say that, whether we're defending it or whether we,
The more we say it, the more we bring life
say
to
it,
it.
we bring in
life to death.
You understand what I'm trying to say? Like they just making that sentence bigger.
Where did that thing come from?
That's what I'm saying.
I wonder, where did that thing come from? Because, like, if you think about it, I mean, if everybody is like walking around dressed like rappers, how the fuck is hip hop dead? Sorry, I said it again.
But
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just that sentence is what I have a problem with. It's like we just keep talking about that same conversation. No, let's talk about the new releases. Let's celebrate artists that are breaking barriers. Let's have conversations about those things.
Yeah.
True.
Rather that than categorizing everyone now into one little bubble and saying it's dead. Like,
I also like, it makes me laugh when I see certain blogs and things like, posts like, oh, could this be the savior of SA hip hop? I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, what I wanted to do, because obviously when you came out, you were talking to a little group of people, and
Sure.
then when you came out, it came out, and people literally, instead of catching the context of what you wanted to say, I felt it was diluted. So I wanted you just to articulate what you said
Yeah.
when we were sitting there, so people can know actually where your mind is at. And I
Sure.
did want to bring up the fact that you were talking about this two weeks or 3 weeks before even you commented on social media.
Yeah, I mean, honestly speaking, man, everyone around me and knows that I don't really just jump on social media and talk. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy. I don't like doing those things. So obviously, in that moment, I think it was a blog. I think it was Freshman Mag. They posted something that Nyovi said, and I really, yeah, I mean that
Nyovi.
For me, it was like, it didn't sit well with me. It felt like he was kind of saying, yo, we must beg him to come back to hip hop. And I was like, that's so disrespectful to everyone that is doing hip hop and been pushing hip hop. I don't have a problem with anyone that like jumps on different genres and experiments. You can jump to Afrobeat, electro, house, what. Just don't leave hip hop and then make it seem like, you guys are suffering without me. Like, relax, bro. Do your thing, and we'll leave you to do your thing respectfully, but don't go and do your thing, but now talk down on us that are trying to push this thing forward. So that's really where it comes from. And that's why I haven't commented on it ever since, because it's like, nowhere did I go and say, this guy's a trash artist, or try and bash his name. Like, I just commented on the fact that what he said, I felt like wasn't the one. I didn't like what I saw, which in turn I actually shouldn't have done. I should have just left him, because, obviously the fans, they'll go now and they blow it up and they make it become something that's incredibly big. But I really just don't have the energy for that stuff, man.
Yeah.
You got to get better. You got to get well, because you're sick right now.
But generally, I like how you actually don't have a lot of I mean, ever since I've been watching a lot of things that have been happening, your ups and downs, even when you dropped your album.
Sure.
But I like how you actually like just stay composed and carry on doing what you're doing.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? But that's crazy. Look, at the end of the day, I believe that like we're in a place where we need to celebrate Amapiano,
Definitely.
and I think that like whenever we want to celebrate Amapiano and you say hip hop is dead, and I'm not really making hip hop, really, I like music, but it's as if the hip hoppers are being defensive instead of them.
I don't get that.
Yeah, so
I totally get what you're saying, and let me just jump in and say, there doesn't have to be a division. Where is the division between hip hop and Amapiano? Why is there even a division? I mean, because we all rock together, we all friends with each other,
Exactly.
with Tori or Polka or whatever, whoever might be making it, you know, and we're all friends. So why is the public chopping it up and making it like, oh, this side and this side? And at the end of the day, all that does is create division in events. It creates division in vibes, and nobody wants to divide the vibes.
Exactly.
You know, we just want to have a good time all together. So I think, you know, that dividing SA hip hop and Amapiano thing, I think that's pretty lame.
And that's what also gets to me in terms of the chat of, I'll see hip hop in 5 years or 3 years. You know, those type of comments. It's like, yo, man, you're making this thing a division thing now.
Yeah.
Like, look, like,
divisive.
I'll give you an example. Like Blackie, he's doing both nicely, and it's working. Nobody's
Blackie does
complaining.
Amapiano.
Yeah, he's like, his latest single he dropped, it's like the slowed down version of piano. You know?
It's like mid-tempo, but it's still not Amapiano.
Yeah, but it's like, but you get what I'm saying, like the fusion.
Oh, that
like,
that joint.
you know
Is that
what I mean?
Amapiano?
Not really. It's
But
got elements of
it
Amapiano.
borrows, right?
You
It
understand?
borrows.
Yeah, and
I'd say
that's,
that's more Afro pop, but anyway, whatever.
but now with what I'm saying in that is like, no one has a problem with that. We're happy, we're celebrating that. It sounds amazing. You know, we're enjoying to hear the different vibes. You know, like next minute now, or like right now, it's why me. You know, there's like heavy trap. But just a few weeks ago, it's the vibes. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what we need to be doing more. Encouraging that. Encouraging the fusion of both. Not the encouraging,
The
I'm doing
division.
piano now. Y'all can sit over there with your hip hop. No, man. Like, come with the hip hop record. Let's come with the hip hop record. Tomorrow, let's come with this record. Let's come with this record. We all artists want to express ourselves, want to, you know, give the people what they want at the end of the day.
But truthfully, this culture is actually impacting all of us. You know, the Mapiano guy who breaks, the hip hop guy who breaks. This culture is making a difference in our lives, and it's if all of us who kind of feel the difference, regardless of genre, are able to sit around a table and say, how do we further grow ourselves then? How do we grow to the world? You know what I mean? I'm always using the example of, you know, you look in Hollywood, and I saw the Dave Chappelle and these Morgan Freeman, Kevin Hart, and then Samuel L. Jackson was in a movie with another black dude, and I'm like, yo, Hollywood already is like not is from what we hear doesn't give black people opportunities. So the best thing black people can do is kind of come together if we're going to talk about race, right? Yeah. But when you come to music, it's almost like, you know, the industry has a ceiling, and the ceiling is caused by how the recording industry was built from a global perspective. But if we're going to break that ceiling, which we're seeing that when a Master KG drops like Jerusalem, like that's not a label that got him there.
Sure.
It's the music. We're seeing that when Amapiano literally like do what they do. It's not labels that are getting Amapiano. It's like a bunch of young people from different communities who are literally breaking the ceiling.
Sure.
So immediately when we divide ourselves in this and that, and we cannot tell each other that you broke the ceiling, I fucks with you, or this is how we can build, then we can't pull each other. We can't pull all of us up, because Amapiano is all gonna sound the same, because they're not pulling someone from hip hop, they're not pulling someone from R&B, they're not pulling, so they can go, how do we bring it together? Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's just one of those things, you know?
Yeah. I thought, just to carry on, I think Amapiano, as much as it is a sound, as much as hip hop is a sound, you can't talk about those genres or subgenres without mentioning that they are also lifestyles, right?
Sure.
So it's the way you live, it's the way you dress. I mean, if you dress, somebody walks in here now, are we gonna be? What does someone who does Amapiano? How do they dress like? Do we even know? I don't know. You could be. I think in South Africa, South African hip hop and Amapiano are so close together that it's like the same people. So what's the difference really?
Amapiano guy will look like a hip hopper guy. You know what I mean? There's no more.
Everybody wears Balenciaga, bro.
Yeah,
so.
we all. But the thing is that they all young people creating. Yeah. And the creative output is different, and that's what makes music beautiful, is when the creative output is different. You know what I mean? So you want to label it Amapiano, you want to label it hip hop, that's on you. But the truth of the matter is that it's a bunch of young people who are creating out of what? Passion, love, hunger, and like
circumstance.
You know what I mean? So why are we gonna be mad at what comes out at the end? You know, it's like being mad at yo, we creating, we all come from the same place.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway.
Yeah. And, oh, sorry.
literally.
Last point. It has to be said. Hip hop is like 50 years old. So that has to be said.
But you have to just throw a divisive statement. Just when we're Martin Luther King, you threw Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, baby, you know.
Yeah, man. I think just vibe out, man. Make
Yeah,
whatever
have a
feels
good time.
natural.
Stop,
dog.
and also stop talking about this in the section. Can people also stop having these chops in the section while we're just trying to party? You know, stop talking about hip hop.
So how do you feel about hip hop? Yeah, you know, like what do you think? You know what I mean? I mean, look, man. I just wanted to also give you your props though. It's just a bold move to kind of flip your whole style and get onto a track and do like what Costa does, you know, because
that, I mean, ultimately that is Costa's. It's based on Costa's. You're Welcome is based on Costa's sound with just a couple of my, you know, like idiosyncrasies, like structure. Like I like song structure in a certain way. I like maybe just a melody sitting under this just to make it thicker, whatever, you know. So for the most part, it really is, and because for the most part it was produced by, you know, his guys, which are now my guys, which is great.
I felt that you did the same thing with the Natty to a certain extent.
Yep.
You know, I feel that
I think that was more in my style though. Me and Natty made more similar music.
Yeah. But I also feel that like I think that like you in your own mind so much when you're creating your own stuff. It's sometimes like easier just to hand it to somebody, to hand it over to someone else.
It was a great experience to just make music, like just knowing like, hey man, I get to be a different character. I get to have a different sound and do something different. It was really fun.
So we're gonna be expecting more content. Costa, you're gonna be making this man work more. Hey, Vuga, Baba Vuga.
He actually calls me now, like, yo, what's going on with the content? Like, what's going on?
Let me tell you something, and I just want to be quite honest. In our making of the music, there was one thing we did it over a lot of sessions at the cribs, but also we went on 2 camps. You know, I love going on these camps.
Yeah.
Sure. And we went on 2. Now we went the first one. We went where?
Was by the Val.
We went to the Val, and then we went to the Val again.
Yeah.
Right. No.
Yeah?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember the first house. Yeah. Anyway, so when we did these camps and as we get to know each other, and now also like as we start touring and get on the road and stuff and do interviews, one thing I must say is I am by far the better professional than Costa Titch.
I can agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I can agree.
I mean, this dude be coming late to the interview. This dude be, you know, I'm always on. Well, I'm not saying I'm always on time, but the score right now, if we were keeping score in terms of who, it must be like 6-0 right now.
No ways.
Definitely.
No ways.
Look, this is what it is.
And then my line is also always, well, you see, that's why these new wave dudes don't last. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've been in the game 15 years.
No, this is what Smoother said to me. He goes, imagine the big one is on time. Last week, this is what Smoother said. Imagine the big one is literally like asking me, he's on his way. He's telling me that he's on his way, and it's the little one here that we're finding out now that he can't make it. You know.
But yeah, no, it's been a great experience. Also, just getting to know new people, man. In my life, I'm excited to meet new people and to build new brotherhoods and just more than himself. It's all like I keep saying, it's just, you know, people like Nelsino and Must Be Dubs and Shampuru and you know, just I've been exposed to a whole different way of thinking and a different energy, man. And it's the other day Costa had me at some fucking matric dance after party, man. and I walked in this bitch and it was hot, dog. I had on a bait jacket and I was dripping, and I walked in and I couldn't breathe. I walked into the room and there was nowhere to sit, and they like, "Pa, listen, it's gonna be like this sometimes." You know, because when it's super mega, I'm thinking, alright, let me get my section right.
Yeah.
But you
Your
know,
section is next to the principal.
I say, "Hey, Baba," I say, "All right, where's my mic?" I say, "Hey, Baba, there's only one mic." You know, no, the principal was literally no, it was like literally 2 I mean, hey, sorry, COVID. 600 kids. So, so we were there with a very medium-sized, large crowd, but the energy was just crazy, man. And the kids, it's just crazy. They're crazy, man. Just like the mosh pits, it's like well, that real chic West, like that feeling, you know. And it's been so exciting to go to different gigs and different shows. I mean, we've also done our own event now, Super Soft Sunday, which was awesome. Everybody, just like a different crowd. I feel like I see different people now coming to our shows, and I'm meeting different people. And it's just very enriching and exciting for me.
I think one can really take the fact that this is more than an experience inside studio.
Yep.
It's so extended in other spaces and even in personal lives, and even in how you gonna, because those kind of things are rare. You know what I mean? Like you said, you and Anati almost made the same music, so it's around the same spaces. You know what I mean? So there wasn't really a lot new that was being learned there, except the fact that okay, we can come together.
Yeah. No, I mean that for me. I mean, Anati will always be my brother, man. If I make a record with you, you'll always be my brother. And yeah, man. I mean, I haven't spoken to him in a while, but just going back to Be Careful What You Wish For, it was an exciting time for me. We made exciting music, and we did it great. It was great, and it was in that capsule. But this is also is just, this is my brother now as well, but it's in a different space in that it's completely, it's just from two opposite sides, you know. Yeah.
So when we're done with this rollout and this the album has literally like done its lifespan, and then you guys go back to your own corners. What are we gonna do with the solo projects, lessons that we've taken from this one?
Sure.
When are you gonna drop an album, actually?
Like, I don't think next year would be an album. Maybe an EP of some sort.
Ah, the old E word.
You know.
That's what everybody doing now. Hey, I did it. You know, I started doing it. Not everybody doing it.
I mean,
hey, man,
honestly,
it is what it is.
More than anything, man, it's just really the seriousness attached to like how to actually put out the music. You know, taking this thing really, really seriously in the sense of actually thinking it through, you know, and putting in that work. You know, that's something that like, you know, I've learned from like Nivo, Tiamu, you know, like understanding like, yo, okay, because that's also the best part about it. Like, even from my side, like besides Buddha, right, the rest of my team is still young, you know, and for them to hang out with Keenan's team, they learning like jewels, you understand? They're also seeing like, oh, okay, this is actually how this thing is done, you know? And I think that also needs to translate into the music and how we roll out and how we push the business forward, you know? So
that's a great point, man. I never thought about that. Yeah, you better learn, motherfucker.
I also saw like, it was just nice to see what's your label? Titch Gang
Records,
so I was on Radio Monitor, and it was just great to see your song there, like on the charts, you know. And I don't know whether you normally have luck to kind of get your songs from your previous albums, you know, whether like your songs have been playlisted, but just to be there in that. It wasn't even far. It was like, I think it was probably number 15, 16,
Bro,
17,
let me tell you,
know?
Super Soft, our single, our record, has been in the Rams for the last 4 weeks in the top 10, bro. So, and you know the Rams are like the Bible for these music industry execs. And in that top 10, you know, hip hop is not very, very prevalent, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So for us, we also feel like, for us and like for the country, I mean, you know, South African radio is still South African radio, bro. To really be showing us this amount of love, and to really be, because, you know, you can sample all you want, but if the radio doesn't pick up on it, they don't like it, they don't like it. And if the radio doesn't play it and the people don't like it, the people, you know, the radio will say, people don't like this song. You know? So I'm also very happy that we chose the right single, and that people are really vibing with it, and that we are also representing, you know, our genre and our people, and we're up there, and we're also like, yeah, man, hip hop, I'm up here, and we together. Let's have a good time, you know. I think that's something we're very, very proud of, and also very grateful to the fans and to the stations and to, you know, the whole ecosystem.
And what are we doing with you next year?
Hey, man, I'm trying to drop this year.
This year still?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, what should I do? I've got about Buffets.
After this rollout, I think you must just.
I've got about like 30 songs, 20 songs, 25 songs. You know, like I said, I've been through a lot of shit this year, and most of that healing was done through music. So when I come with my joint, it's gonna be completely different to what we're hearing on You're Welcome. You know, I'm not saying it's gonna be overly sad or anything, but you know me, I've got a new sound, I've got a different sound, and it's very conceptual, and it's gonna be a different vibe. So I'm hoping to, I'll probably February, maybe March, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I feel like, I just want us to probably just finish up this year, innit?
Yeah.
We'll finish up this year, drop a couple more videos, go on tour, fuck shit up, and then hopefully coming into next year we'll rock it.
Yo, shout out, man. Keenan, aka
that's me.
Costa. Costa, we're gonna have to find what your first name is. We gotta be on a first name basis with you soon. You know what I mean?
I've butchered his first name so many times. Got like 10 nicknames for him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends how long you're in the game. But you see, you've just done so much shit that, like, sometimes, you know, when someone is mad at you, you don't want to call this, I don't want to call you AKA because that's the song, that's the guy who makes nice songs, but you've just done some fucked up shit. So I say, I'm Keenan, you know what I mean? So you are now,
I think this year has really changed my character in that I really have real perspective now on what is important and what is just not worth it. But you know, that's for our interview, huh?
Yeah, we're going to
let me not spill all the juice.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an intense one.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'd love it to have that as long as you're not boxing me all the time.
No.
Because you know I ask you questions and you box me. You want to tell me what's in your head. I asked you, is a zebra black and white? You want to go, a horse literally eats hay. That's you. That's my interviews with you. That's my interviews with you. You know what I mean?
But you know, it is what it is, man. You know, but you'll definitely
You're like Mayweather in the ring, always going.
You'll be interviewing a different character for sure. I'm definitely a changed, different person now.
I think you're the same person, but you know how to apply yourself better now.
I think that is one of the things I also learned from Costa, is just to ooze.
Yeah. Same person, but you know how to apply yourself.
Yeah.
All the other shit that you would do, you'll know when it's needed, and it will be very important for you to become that thing that, like, people go. But it's just that you never knew how to use this weapon. So same person, but like now you're a little bit smarter with how you want to apply. You know your favorite words. When someone says to me, I say, you know, AKA what he says to me, he says he's gonna press the button. So he's pressing the button now. He's pressing the button now.
No more buttons are being pressed. The only buttons being pressed right now is the smash hit records button.
You see, that's where you use that energy right there. Yo, you're welcome.
You're welcome, actually.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it work. And like I said, Costa, like, this is my dude, you know. I think you gave him that space, you know. You gave him that space and music. He makes music. This guy. That's really. Get all the other endorsements. We'll get all the parts. This guy makes music. That's where his heart is at. So thank you for existing, so he could find that space. You know what I mean? It's an amazing thing.
You see?
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yo, we out here, man. Shout out. Go get the album. If you haven't heard it, stream it. You know you're welcome. Keenan, Costa.
We out of here,
Yo,
man.
what's the first name base, Costa? Come on.
Konstantinos. Yeah, Zerski.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Peace, yo.
Konstantinos.
Konstantinos. Okay. Konstantinos. Okay, no wonder speak bullshit.
Broadcast live